Namaste. My name is Gopal Gokulraj and I study in 8th grade of Pune Primary School. Today I shall explain to you the different forces and principles acting upon a plane while it flies. So, first I'm going to talk about the four primary forces which act upon a plane. So, the four forces are thrust, drag, gravity and lift. So, as you can see here, thrust is the initial force when you throw the plane. The direction and the amount of force put by the thrust determines how fast the plane will go. So thrust acts forward. Okay. The second force is drag. Drag acts backward. It is caused by friction between the molecules of air and the roughness of the plane. It is also called fluid friction. So thrust and drag act opposite to each other. The next one is lift. Lift is the force which moves the plane upwards. So lift acts upward and gravity acts downward. So both of them cancel each other. The balance between lift and gravity determines for how much time the plane will stay in the air. Next, trajectory and stability. The trajectory of paper planes are explained by the forces acting on it. It can also be determined by the angle of release, like which angle you throw it in, and it can also be determined by the shape of the plane and the size of the wings. Now I'm going to talk about two principles which act on the plane. First is Bernoulli's principle. Bernoulli's principle explains how the pressure of a fluid, in science common name for both water and air is fluids. So it explains how the pressure of fluid varies with its velocity. According to the principle, in steady flow, the decrease in velocity of a fluid occurs simultaneously with the decrease of pressure. Sorry, the increase of velocity occurs simultaneously with the decrease of pressure. That means velocity and pressure are inversely proportional. In paper plane, this means that the air moving faster over the top of the wings creates low pressure area, while the air moving relatively slower at the bottom creates a high pressure area, causing the plane to tilt upwards. The key takeaways are: the shape of the wings are critical for the application of Bernoulli's principle. The planes which have slight upward curve, they tend to have more lift and they stay in the air for longer time. The angle of attack, which is the angle at which we throw the plane, that also determines how much the Bernoulli principle is applied. Next is Coanda effect. The Coanda effect refers to tendency of a fluid, in this case air, to follow the contour of the plane instead of moving in a straight line. This effect is important for explaining the stability and trajectory of the plane. So key points in relation: if the wings are designed with a small curve, then the air will stick to the surface of a plane for more time, enabling it to have more lift. This makes it fly for longer time. This is similar to how modern airplanes are designed to increase lift. Next one is Coanda's effect can also influence the directional stability of the plane. If the plane's design is aerodynamic and has less drag coefficient, meaning it is smoothly designed, then it will be less likely to tumble or stall because the air will flow along its surface due to the Coanda effect. Next, another thing which affects the flight of the plane are the Newton's law. The first Newton law is of inertia, that it states that any object which is moving will remain in motion in the same direction and same speed unless it is stopped or the direction is changed by the power of another force. The second one is force and acceleration. The acceleration of an object depends on the force applied on it. Over here it means that how fast and how far the plane will go depends on how much force we put on it while we throw it. And the third one talks about action and reaction. When we throw the plane, equal force will act behind. That is why we can feel a reverse pressure on our hand. So some design tips: if you want a plane to fly better, if you want it to have more lift and fly for longer, you can do like this. like you can make the back of the plane up, because that will increase the drag, and then by the Coanda effect it will have more lift. Another thing is tapered wings. The more pointed it is, the more in which, due to the Coanda effect, the air will flow along the surface, so there will be less drag coefficient and the plane will fly for more time. Another thing is the flaps and elevators. Small adjustments like folding the edge of the wings or adding slight upward bend can help in the stability of the plane. This is similar to how modern airplanes have flaps in their wings to help in minor adjustments in the direction and force. Thank you. Now I'll show you how it works. Now this is another model. This one, it usually the amount of velocity it has depends on the center of gravity. If the center of gravity is more centered towards the front of the plane, it will dive more. While if it is at the back of the plane, then the plane will tend to go like this and stall. This plane has the center of gravity at the front of the plane. That's why it goes faster and quicker. So that's all about the aerodynamics of planes. Thank you.